Dragon Balls, the balls of the dragon that can grant any wish your heart desires. Whether that be reviving a lost loved one, becoming young, preventing a Reddit moderator from breaking into your house, or preventing an emperor from installing Rule 34 on everyone's computers. But something that I find odd is how the Dragon Balls, much like the rest of the series, have slowly escalated over time to the point of absurdity. And now it kind of feels like the Dragon Balls might be hurting the story more than helping it. But why? What happened to the balls in your jaw? Well, to find that out, we need to go back to the beginning of the first dragon that we know about, Chris Shenron. Shenron basically laid the foundation for how Dragon Balls would work for the rest of the series. The basic premise obviously being 7 wish orbs that can be collected from around the world, and if they are brought together into one place, you can make any wish. Well, almost any wish, because the Dragon Balls obviously have limitations, unlike Goku and Vegeta. So once a wish is made, the balls will go on discharge for an entire year before they can be recharged and used again. And originally, this meant the Dragon Balls took significant effort in order to find all of them, because nobody could actually fly or teleport or anything like that. All they really had was a dragon radar, and that was it. Plus, the cooldown of the Dragon Balls made it so that wishes couldn't just be spammed over and over again. But then, of course, as Dragon Ball began escalating, so did my balls. And the most common use obviously being bringing people back from the dead who were previously killed by their foes. And having access to an ability such as this might make you feel like the tensions in the story would be removed entirely, because who actually cares if someone died? They could just be revived with the Dragon Balls. Who cares that the original Herb the Perv, Krillin, or Android 19's little cousin got killed by the Aura Farmer with no cape? We got the balls! Which is true. However, there is a drawback, that being how you can only revive a person a single time. And if you try to wish for that person to be revived again, it simply cannot be done. So effectively, this allowed for the stories told in Dragon Ball to have higher stakes, with people dying in brutal ways without killing off the character completely. Because there are still consequences for people dying in Dragon Ball. And being a part of the Z Fighters means facing death on a regular basis. And I would say that it comes with a gig, but I'm pretty sure that everyone on this team is unemployed. And this was at its absolute peak in the Saiyan saga and in the Namek saga. Because not only did every one of the Z Fighters die during the battle with the Saiyans, meaning that they could only be brought back one more time, but Chaozu was believed to be dead forever since he had been wished back before. In fact, you can actually attribute Yamcha dying to the fact that this rule exists in the first place, since he only fought first to ensure that Krillin didn't die a second time. But then that very thing happens to him in the Namek saga, when Frieza blows him up like a Taco Bell asshole. But this time, there are no takebacks. This is simply it. He is gone. This not only allowed Goku to turn into a Super Saiyan out of rage, but also give one of the best speeches in Kai about how he felt about his best friend being killed.
Krillin can't be brought back to life with the Dragon Balls a second time, and I refuse to take the death of my best friend sitting down! The fate this bastard dealt him was the last thing he deserved!
And you cannot tell me that this didn't give you chills. Because just like that, the stakes and tensions of the story have risen astronomically. Because in addition to Krillin being dead forever, Goku is currently risking his life to defeat Frieza at his absolute best before the planet explodes. Because not only does Goku failing mean that Gohan and the others would likely be killed on planet Namek, but also that Goku has already been revived once before. So he cannot be revived again if he is killed. And no, he didn't actually die against Frieza at this part. The anime was just being weird by adding a piece of filler content in. So Goku was basically just chilling underwater somewhere while Gohan was getting his ass beat by Frieza. And people say that Goku is a good dad. So the long and short of it is that the reason there is all this tension and stakes in the story is because of the limitations of the Dragon Balls. But then, Daddy Purunga comes around. And originally, he was just going to be used to bring back Kami so that they could use their Earth's Dragon Balls to bring everyone back who died to the buff Q Ball. But then Purunga introduced his own set of rules and limitations. One being the fact that he could grant 3 wishes, and he could only revive a single person at a time. However, the main benefit to Purunga over Shenron, other than the fact that he can wish back people 3 times, is the fact that he can revive someone again, even if they had been wished back before. And because of this, Krillin and Chaozu can be brought back from the dead with no consequences whatsoever. I mean, kinda convenient, but you know what? This was established after the battle with Frieza, so the tensions were able to still run at their hottest. Plus, Purunga at this point in the story was mostly an overglorified Uber driver, so he didn't really start breaking the story yet. Additionally, once the Namekians moved on, the story would still be left with the original Shenron Dragon Balls with the same limitations as before, so all is well. But then something happens in the Android saga which fundamentally changes everything. First of which being Goku getting instant transmission, which will be important in a minute. And secondly, Piccolo merging with Mr. Watch over the Earth in order to achieve maximum aura farming status. And as a result, the Dragon Balls are now turned into stone. But then after the maximum aura farming and Vegeta doing Vegeta things isn't enough to take out the cockroach, Goku decides to go on a little side quest to find the new planet Namek, because they can't just be without balls. So then he teleports to Google Maps, and thanks to Google Maps, Goku is able to teleport to New Namek, pick up a child.
Right, let's make ourselves a crafting table, and for now, let's just make an axe
and force him to make a new set of Dragon Balls. Now, the reason why this is important is because of upgrades, people! Upgrades! Because now, not only can Shenron make 3 wishes like Purunga, but he can also basically have no limits. Aside from the usual, the same person can't be revived twice. But remember, Goku can go to New Namek whenever he wants. In fact, when Krillin dies for the 3rd time against the NBA Bubble Yum, do we need to fret? No! Because our buff sugar daddy Purunga has got us covered!
Oh, Goku, you don't have enough stamina to defeat Kid Buu?
Well, good thing we got the blue chew from Purunga. Now you are properly armed to fuck the evil Bubble Yum. But there's also the little things, such as the fact that Shenron previously couldn't revive anyone who was dead longer than a year. But that was just kind of removed somewhere along the way, since Shenron was conveniently able to pretend revive Frieza 14 years after he was killed, because Resurrection F wasn't canon. Or God, I at least wish it wasn't. And this low-key ruins the story because of how it removes the stakes of people actually being able to die. Like, Piccolo literally dies in Resurrection F for the 2nd time, because they can just go to Planet Namek and use Daddy Purunga to bring him back again, which is literally off screen. Like, that's just how casual this type of event has become at this point. Not to mention that Beerus and Wisp being there the entire time just negates any tension there possibly could have been in the arc. And that's not even to mention Goku and Vegeta being powerful enough to take on Frieza. And the only reason that they didn't threesome his ass was because they were competing to see whose Saiyan cock was bigger. Not to mention that Shenron just starts to get stronger, weirder, and more convenient as time goes on. Like him being able to casually give Piccolo a transformation because he's his dog. Okay, you know what? Sure, that's at least somewhat understandable. Or give Goku a basic Google search to learn about the Super Saiyan God, or start establishing his own random rules, such as having bias against people who are evil. Like, since when did Shenron have bias. You're telling me in Daima, he could just casually not give Goma his 3 wishes? Just cause? I mean, maybe he has something against Goma for committing quarter zip cell by turning everyone into kids and turning Daima into Goku time all over again. And if that's the case, Shenron is kind of based as hell. But then in the manga, we know that Daddy Purunga doesn't have that bias, since he can revive a villain's evil magical power to its prime state and bring back multiple evil dudes in the same breath, because he doesn't care about evil actions being done, even though the entire revive only a single person and Namekian language thing were created specifically to combat war. Like, I know Guru didn't bestow everything down to Mori, but I feel like this should have been a central part of their Dragon Balls if they really didn't want evil people using them. I mean, you guys literally got your entire race killed by Frieza and a receding hairline guy because you didn't have these rules and restrictions. And this could have easily been resolved if you made it so that only pure of heart people could use the balls. And I know that would remove more tension in the story, but if you could just bend the Dragon Ball's rule set like fucking Play-Doh and make it so Goma doesn't have access to 2 other wishes at the drop of a hat, at least be consistent. Like, what are y'all doing all this farming and shit for? You have universe-breaking bombs. Maybe it's time to form a council and brainstorm some ideas for how you can make this event not happen again. But if you thought Purunga was the last dragon introduced, you would be dead wrong. Because now we obviously got the Super Dragon Balls, which basically just have no cap or limitation whatsoever. I mean, maybe we got an even bigger Namekian than Guru's fat ass who created that. Fucking Mr. Watch Over the Universe. And the only real drawback is that they're basically just planet-sized and take much longer to find since they're spread out across Universe 6 and 7. But these are basically just used as a prize at the end of the Universe 6 saga to give Champa his own Earth. And in the Goku Black saga, when Zamasu decides to order 2,000 Goku fleshlights from Etsy and use all of them. I mean, he probably could have used Shenron to do that, but sure, go off, King. Because collecting those things could not have been easy, even if you figured out the coordinates to all of them. And then despite these balls having no limits, they can be destroyed. But maybe he just wished for the balls to be destroyed by the balls. You know, using the balls to destroy the balls on some Thanos shit. And finally, we got an even buffer and bigger Red Purunga at the end of Daima, who single-handedly ended Goku time. So honestly, maybe he's the real homie here. So in total, we have 4 entire sets of Dragon Balls, one of which in the manga wasn't even mentioned, 2 of which can easily be accessed. And even when writing this script, I kind of realized that Daima has a major plot hole because the gang literally could have gone to New Namek to address their problems of being turned into literal children. I mean, not that it actually made a difference since Goma was weak as shit, but still. But yeah, that is basically how the Dragon Balls have pushed the series plot in a way that helps it by raising the stakes and tensions, but also simultaneously hurting it by raising the stakes to such an absurd point that they can simply say, we could just wish them back, so it's fine. And ironically enough, actually removing those stakes and tensions because they no longer exist. And it feels like a lot of this has happened because we just simply have too many sets of Dragon Balls, and they are relied on far too much. And it's only been on special occasion that I've actually seen villains use the Dragon Balls. Like, I feel like if we got this happening more often, then maybe the Dragon Balls could become a double-edged sword. Something that could be used as a legitimate danger instead of a cop-out all the time. Well, that would be the case if Shenron dropped his Home Depot loyalty program, but for now, we just got Daddy Purunga. But that is all. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.